Another cold day today. At least the sun's out a bit anyways. And what's going on today? I guess reading this reminds you how next year is almost here already. And with that comes things like CES. How about this one though? A quick one that I read. Imagine a robot that's so human-like in many ways. I mean, there have been robots like that, but this one's just kind of crazy, I guess, when you look at it. It says, engineered arts to unveil new humanoid robot at CES 2022. Would people be excited of this or terrified of it? It says here, Engineered Arts, a UK company that creates the most memorable interactive character experiences, today announced its latest humanoid robot named Ameca. Through 20 years of increasing robotics innovation, the Ameca series features groundbreaking advancements in movement and natural gestures, intelligent interaction, and future-proof software designed to embrace artificial intelligence and computer vision with adaptive learning, giving users an API customization pathway never before available. Man, look at that. It is pretty realistic in terms of things like the facial expressions and all that. Again, are people excited about stuff like this, or would you be scared? The robots are here to take over. And I read this, another one of these stories, Apparently a plane came really close to a drone, that's what it says anyways. It says here, Stansted Airport. Drone came within 6 feet of Boeing 737, report says. Although I think you know how this works by now in terms of these stories. Was it confirmed? It says here, an AirProx report said, quote, a white object believed to be a drone appeared suddenly and narrowly avoided hitting the aircraft. The pilot said they did not know it did not hit the aircraft. They did not know it did not hit the aircraft. What an interesting statement, isn't it? At the same time, it's again one of those stories where you don't know 100% whether it's a drone or not. At about 17:23, the pilot reported a drone passing down the left side of the nose cone as they descended at approximately 2,800 feet. It managed to pass without hitting the aircraft, the report said. The whole event happened too quickly for any avoiding action to be taken. And they started to warn other aircraft of the incident, just in case I guess it flies by again or something like that, but they said nothing else was discovered afterwards. So again, no verification, something just white went by. How do you know it's not like a plastic bag? It's happened before in terms of the news actually. People reporting it's a quote drone, and that's what it ended up being. Watch people start using that as a quote verified example though, to further say it's so dangerous in every single way in terms of everyone who flies every type of drone. And with that in mind, apparently today, is it that drone safety day thing again here in Canada? What a disaster it was last year, huh? This one says, statement by Minister Algebra to mark Drone Safety Day. Drone Safety Day recognizes the exciting and innovative world of drones and the important role all drone pilots play in flying safely. This includes keeping drones at a safe distance from people and away from other aircraft and forest fires, floods, or other natural disasters. Drone pilots must also respect the privacy of others when flying. So overall, it doesn't really sound like it's much in terms of actually dealing with things like drone safety, just based on all the things that's happened and so forth, if you think about it. But at the same time, it's more of those, don't do this, don't do that, put everyone in the same bucket just from these statements anyways. And it says here, we are working closely with industry partners on pilot projects and special flight operation certificates for new and novel operations, and are developing a regulatory framework to allow more beyond visual line of sight operations. So it sounds like overall, it's still the focus of only commercial pilots, even though you put everyone in the same bucket, people flying it for fun below tree lines. It's all treated the same thing and no representation, it seems like, for let's just say a recreational person or something like that. I mean, even from looking at what? Like their social media feeds, what's the types of stuff that they posted, like Transport Canada, DYK, that it is illegal to fly your drone within 9.3 kilometers of a forest fire. Unauthorized drones force emergency response teams to ground their operations, putting lives at risk. What do you think will happen with this? It will create hysteria again. People who really like just say hate drones or something like that, every time they see someone flying, oh, you're dangerous, don't do this or that, categorizing every single drone as the same thing. As an example of putting everyone in the same bucket, so to speak, remember that story of finding all those kids in residential schools being buried. And afterwards, they essentially, I guess with this transport minister, issued a NOTAM that banned everything that flied in many ways, even if it's a toy. Because like here, with their NOTAM and stuff, it says no person shall operate an aircraft, including remotely piloted aircraft, RPA drone, and model aircraft within the area described. So that's literally everything. Someone can't even fly in their backyard or in an open field, like with a model aircraft, for example. So what does that have to do about safety? You think about it. And then if you want to talk about safety, remember that news this year about the police crashing their drone into an aircraft, like literally? Like this one, York police drone collides with plane approaching Buttonville Airport. TSB investigating. So what's the result? I mean, this is about drone safety, airspace safety. Real crash by what? Police officers going through the system the way it is? What does this have to do with like what? I don't know, like a recreational person or something like that flying what within 9 kilometers and so forth within a forest fire, natural disaster? Where's the priority, right? In terms of things like safety. It's like this is all for show, unfortunately. So not much has changed overall, even with their statements. It's more about what it sounds like, commercial operations and stuff like that as a primary focus. I mean, the crazy thing about this is, I often say it is in many ways, it's kind of like prejudice and discrimination. You have this law or whatever that affects certain groups of people, and here there's no representation for those groups of people. I mean, stereotypically, in this case now, it's all perception. What's next? You're gonna put a panel of, let's just say, all visible minorities or something like that to show, hey, you're not like quote racist, you're diverse. Because at this rate, it comes down to, it shouldn't be about that per se. This is basically affecting certain people who use specific things like a drone or a model aircraft, an FPV drone flyer. You need that type of representation. Everyone in various categories, not just people, for example, that run commercial operations, sells courses or something like that. You need everyone in terms of that representation. Because with all these examples, like police officers crashing drones into aircrafts and all that, I mean, you gotta be drinking the Kool-Aid at this point to say whatever they're doing is actually working in terms of safety. Because from what I've seen, like even with that other example with the residential school, all it does is basically take people's rights away in terms of doing something that's safe, for example. I mean, there needs to be better distinction, better representation, because people who are in charge have no clue, it seems like. If you think about it too, with those examples, I wouldn't doubt it probably created certain people that say, yes, get rid of these guys, they're dangerous, etc., etc. Now think of it with this. I mean, just as a regular person who flies a drone for fun and all that, capturing photos, videos, etc., etc., a lot of people tell me one of the things they worry about is actually a lot of the aggressive people that go up to them because they think it's quote spying on you and all that. And everyone feels like a criminal in a lot of cases when they're flying it like they're doing nothing wrong. And at the same time, there are stories, like even recently, what? People firing arrows and stuff at drones. Why? Because you think it's quote spying on you, like you're that important? Have you seen what it's like in terms of the footage you get, how wide it is, the angle? I mean, if anything, in terms of safety, again, it should be stuff like that, actually. People doing absolutely nothing wrong, kids flying toys, yet you have these paranoid people attacking drone operators. I mean, where's the solution for that? I mean, like here, it's all fear-mongering and stuff, like don't do this, it's illegal, it's dangerous, and that, when the mass majority of people, they use it in a perfectly safe way, and probably in a beneficial way for many people too. Like those stories, for example, people using to what? Save and rescue, find lost dogs, people, etc., etc. Imagine the great use you could have if you actually involved everyone that uses it. see you guys later.